Okay, so you got to prepare whatever you're using to proof your bread while it's shaped. This is a Banneton, and the workaround for this is a colander lined with a tea towel. I usually put rice flour in here because it works really well to keep the dough from sticking. If you don't have rice flour, you can just take a little rice and grind it up in your blender, or if you have cornmeal, I would try that. If you have none of those things, take your tea towel, spread it out, and just flour it really well. Okay, so that's pretty heavily floured with rice flour. And now the top of the loaf is going to go into the bottom. So we're just going to scoop it up, flip it in. Now this is going to rise just room temperature on the counter for, it really depends on things like ambient temperature. I'd say 2 to 4 hours. So I think I said this before, a common baker's refrain is watch the dough, not the clock. But in the beginning, I understand you kind of are like, well, I need some guidance, right? So we're going to look for this dough to, it'll rise, it won't probably totally double, but it'll fill up this Banneton a lot more than it is now. It'll get much jigglier than this, and there's a thing called a poke test where you kind of poke your fingers in, and if those indents fill in all the way, then it needs time, it can keep on rising, whereas if they stay poked in, then maybe that means it's time to bake. But those are all just ways that you sort of use to assess if your dough is ready to bake. But for now, this is going to sit on the counter for 2, 3, 4-ish